The benefit of a settlement is that you have a sure thing. You know exactly, what's going to happen and the financial recovery that you're going to make. And so, if there is an opportunity for a good settlement that the client is happy with, that we think makes sense, that is certainly the preferable way of resolving a case. But not every case can get resolved. Sometimes you have to try cases, and sometimes you get to try cases. What a litigant is promised, whether you're a plaintiff or defendant, you're promised your day in court by a fair and impartial jury. And you get folks who are doing their duty. Most of them at some point would prefer to be someplace other than a jury. But by and large, when they get involved and invested in the process, the jury actually enjoys it, and all of them, at least in my experience, have taken their jobs very seriously and approached it with the responsibility that it deserves. Having said that, your day in court doesn't necessarily mean the jury is going to decide the case that you would like them to decide it. The jury's obligation is to apply the law to the facts as they find them and to render a true and just verdict. And so your day in court is the promise of you will get folks that are going to listen to your case without bias and prejudice that's going to affect their decision-making process in front of a judge whose job it is to make sure that you get a fair trial. But at the end of the day, the trial will be decided by 6 members of the community that they're going to decide the case the way they feel fit. And so as a litigant, that's what you're promised, is a day in court in front of a fair and impartial jury. One of the things that I'm frequently telling my clients, particularly in very catastrophic cases or high exposure cases, is the more successful we are, the longer this process unfortunately takes. I mean, if we try the case after 12 or 18 months of discovery and getting it ready to try, and we have a trial of 4 or 5 weeks and do a fantastic job and get a tremendous verdict, one of the very real risks and dangers is that the defendant will appeal the case to an intermediary court, who will then have an opportunity to potentially turn the case back to the trial court to do over again. And so one of the risks with trial, every litigant is afforded the right to appeal an adverse decision either by the judge or by the jury, and that all comes with risk. Even if you were successful, after all of the appeals are through and you're the victorious party, there's still a delay in time. And that process can take another 12 to 18 months and even longer, depending upon how long the appeal goes. And so for folks that are unfortunately in very difficult economic scenarios, they have to wait even longer to get their justice. While the verdict is important and is the first step in getting justice, the justice actually occurs by and large when the judgment is paid and the client has a real financial benefit to the outcome of the trial.